the show sort of overall themes?
Well, it's about these two brothers who are lost in this sort of mysterious woods, trying to find their way home, and kind of getting involved in these different little side stories of kind of folktale sort of inspired ideas and old cartoons and a little bit of scary stuff, Halloween stuff.
You just mentioned brothers. It just put my head into this. That's actually been a theme in a lot of things at all. I mean, I'm sure you wrote this back when you were working on Adventure Time, but as those came out, did you look at those new things that were coming at all? There was a video game that had that kind of, thing. That's just that, that connection of, siblings has become a big theme lately in a lot of things. So I don't know if you got a chance to...
I think probably it's sort of the first piece of that idea came probably from like Brothers Grimm, thinking about that dynamic of like, I mean they were just gathering stories more, and then one of the brothers kind of rewrote some of them as different editions came out. But just thinking about that, I mean, in the end, it mostly came out of like me as a teenager and me as a child, and the different personalities. And so they're half brothers. Like,
okay.
One of them's quite a bit older, but Colin plays the younger brother, and he's sort of the lively, fun one who isn't afraid of anything because of his sort of innocent look at the world. Whereas the older one, my voice is starting to crack.
Yeah.
The older one is a little more serious about everything.
Is it shared? Are you doing shared rooms for speaking, or it's all separate recording?
Do you record as a group or?
Yeah, are you recording as a group or separately?
Sometimes we record as a group, but...
So you've actually gotten to work with Elijah?
Yeah, I have.
What's that like, being so young, working with someone that you...
It's very, very cool. I've learned a lot of things from him.
So what's it like? I mean, you went from being a regular guy to now being a voice actor. How did that work out for you? How did that start?
Well, my sister started acting originally, and then I kind of thought I wanted to start. So I auditioned, and then I liked acting and started doing it.
What do your friends think of this? Did you get this part-time or this other life?
Well, they don't really know, but when I tell them, they're like, wow, and then they just forget later.
Even while they're watching stuff that you've been in, they're like, I love that movie. You know I'm in it, right? And they're like, what?
What? Yeah, they just forget.
That's good, I think. That seems nice.
Is there a lot of comedy played out in the actual series? It's a case between the characters, or is it just the wonder of wandering around?
Yeah, it's a comedy. So there's the dynamics between the three main characters, which are the two brothers, and Beatrice, this bird who's guiding them through, who Melanie plays. There's some funny dynamics between them, but then there's these kind of crazy characters that come in that they interact with along the way. It's a little bit like Alice in Wonderland or something, where you kind of go through these little pockets of funny bunches of people, sometimes scary, sometimes funny.
It's really funny. Like, a lot of it, when I watched it, I was really laughing. And like John Cleese does a voice and is so hilarious, and the performance is so amazing, and that character is so strange. I thought it was so funny.
Since your natural speaking voice is so nice and quiet, and so, could you give us an idea of just what that character must sound like, since it's being described as foul-tempered and a little rude? That's got to be something a little bit different, since your natural speaking voice is just so,
That's nice, thanks. Well, I have been known to be grumpy, so it's a thing that I can access. But I think it's fun when somebody sort of seems to have a sweet disposition, and also she's such a lovely little bluebird, and she's so adorable looking, and then is so grumpy and just...
So it's more in the attitude than the actual...
Attitude,
okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she seems very sweet and adorable.
And so it's the same voice, it's just what she says.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a little edge to it, I guess.
Well,
we're struggling.
no,
We're
well, it's
struggling.
because we haven't really gotten to see the show. So what's the animation style?
It's the paintings are really like the backgrounds are really like beautiful. I think like the kind of oil painting inspired by like Hudson River Valley School and old Disney kind of stuff. And then the animation is a little more fluid than a lot of TV stuff.
Okay.
Trying to make it feel like it's deserving of a miniseries.
So it's a short. It's 10
episodes.
And then that's it.
So it has a beginning. And
You
end.
actually wrote a whole complete arc that once it's over.
That's it. Yeah.
Who designed it?
Like visually?
Yeah.
Well, it's a group effort.
Okay.
Our art director Nick Cross.
Okay.
Is just incredible. I don't know. The show wouldn't exist if he had worked on it because he just does so much work so quickly, and it's all so beautiful. So I'm really proud of that because I can't paint.
Right.
Like
So.
I can feel comfortable saying that it's really beautiful. Like 'cause otherwise I'd feel like I'm bragging or something. But like another thing is the music is really special too, where all these different kind of genres of like kind of music from before the 50s, and so there's like I don't have good access to my memories, but there's like opera in it. There's like old kind of folk music and blues, and then there's all sorts of musical styles.
This is set to air at the beginning of November. Correct?
Yeah, November 5th.
And since you said it's a miniseries, so does that mean you're still mostly working on Adventure Time?
No, it was full time
Oh, okay.
on this.
Okay.
And we're finishing up next week, and then that's
Oh, so you're still in the production line. Wow. Are you still in recording still, or just in animation? The animation line. Okay.
Final mixes and all that stuff.
Final touches.
Have you guys gotten to see any of like maybe the first couple episodes, like the finished ones?
Well, we were doing a little Halloween party screening, and we got to see Halloween episodes of shows, and we got to see the second episode.
Was it?
And that was the first time for you to actually see it.
I was not at the Halloween.
But yesterday was the first time you've actually gotten to see what the show.
Yeah, we've seen clips here and there.
But not the actual scene. To actually see your actual performance from beginning to end, to see what takes did they use, how, And you liked it? Thumbs up?
I liked it.
Okay.
I've seen the first 6, and there's 10 right here.
So was the idea off the bat for this to be a miniseries, or was the idea let's make a show and then it turned out to a
It
miniseries?
has a sort of a long history, but I pitched it as like a full series in like 2006 or something, like right when I was out of school, and it didn't really go anywhere. But after working on Adventure Time and after moving to New York State, I was asked to do a pilot. And when we made it, I was sort of just thinking, this is my last hurrah. Like I'll make a pilot, I'll make a film, and then like I'll feel satisfied creatively. And then well, let's like make it into something. I was like, I live in New York. Okay, and so we sort of talked it out and said, well, and it's also a really difficult show to make, just the amount of work it is. And so we talked it out with the network, and it seemed like, well, why don't we just do a short-lived thing that kind of stands alone? They can do it as a special, and it seemed to just work out for everyone that we could actually make it at the quality we wanted, and then also I could move out to LA for the year, and then
the casting seems very powerful. Was that a decision that you wanted? Did you want such like known voices, or it's just those are the voices who just evoke what the?
I think. Well, when I
know Elijah's just because this would be Elijah's only second ever voice acting thing.
Yeah. Well,
right after Tim.
When I was looking for a voice for Wirt, the older brother, I was like, I'd like to, like an Elijah Wood type voice, like something that, has these attributes. And the voice casting director just was like, well, let's call up Elijah Wood, and he was like, sure. And then
He seems to be really into this. Because this was done. I assume this was done after Broken Age.
It was no. The pilot was done before.
Really?
Yeah, so,
oh, interesting. So he already had been ingratiated into the idea of people calling him and just saying, "Hey."
Yeah.
And I mean, what about getting Christopher Lloyd? That seems sort of.
Yeah, and I think like I sort of feel like once Elijah Wood was on,
He just loud.
Like it's like, yeah, it'd be cool to get Christopher Lloyd and call him up, and he's like, sure.
And then she mentioned you got John Cleese and something too. Any other voices, or are those supposed to be surprises?
No, there's Chris Isaac, a bunch of voices. He's really does a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be embarrassed. I'm not remembering. Samuel Ramey, the opera singer, and Deborah Voigt, the opera singer. There's Frank Fairfield and Blind Boy Paxton, who are like these kind of old-time musicians who are really great.
So the show musical then, in many ways.
There's a lot of music in it. Yeah.
And it invokes like how the flow of the story and stuff.
Yeah, the show's really about mood. And like, kind of, yeah. So the music and the visuals and the voices. Kind of coming together to kind of make you feel comfortable or uncomfortable, depending on what's happening, is kind of the drive. Someone described it as sort of a theme park ride or something, where you're kind of like traveling with these characters through this world and kind of experiencing it with them.
I hope we get screeners.
Yeah.
I've been busy Googling mine.
Do either of you have anything that you'd like to say in terms of promoting the show or marketing the show that you want to tell people in terms of how to? I mean, these two, as you know, you're the actors. I'm sure you want to. How would you sell the show personally to somebody? To your friends, how would you make your friends watch?
I would probably tell them that I was in this really cool show. I would probably tell them stuff and then kind of tease them.
But what would you what would you actually tell them?
I've got 5 teasers for you about the show.
I don't know. I would be like, they get lost in this kind of Halloween-y woodsy world, and they're just trying to find their way out, and all these characters pop out, and it's just a really good show, and you should try to catch it sometime.
I'm sold.
I think the show is really special and so unique, and the thing that I really love about it is I love that Cartoon Network is just doing like an event, kind of. Like it's so special. It's just over 1 week. There's 2 episodes a night, and it's just like a really beautiful way to get to.
We're never gonna see it.
go into a world and just sort of spend some time there, and I'm so proud of it because it's so different to anything else that I've seen. It's really beautiful. You know, like Pat was saying, the paintings are so gorgeous, and the music, there's such a like comprehensive musical background in it, and I'm so proud of it. I think it's really sweet.
It seems like it's sort of a nice event when there are other networks that are moving animation to online only, and there's a big shift in animation. It sounds like, and just from some of the art I saw with it seems like this is really a work of art, sort of encapsulated within these 10 episodes. So it's a little different than we're seeing.
I don't know how or why it got made. It doesn't make sense. I think when we were talking about it, pitching it, and making the pilot, Cartoon Network was just sort of like, we want to do something with this, but we don't know what to do with this. Like, this isn't the kind of thing you normally make. It's like, well, let's just do it as a small thing, and let's just make it. And we'll see how it goes. If it's not that popular, it'll still be an interesting thing to have made.
Well, since this is just 10 episodes, could there be some type of spin-off from it? Could there be another sort of 90-degree angle to these characters if they wanted to do something else eventually?
I mean, the world itself that they're traveling through is sort of certainly open to all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of side stories that could exist. There's also stories. It was originally 18 episodes when I wrote it originally, so there's a lot of stuff that was cut and kind of condensed to make it 10. So there's a comic book that's coming out that kind of tells the story between episodes 2 and 3. And so there are these like little missing pieces that.
Do you know who's putting that out?
It's Boom Comics.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They do everything else, but I never knew, it could have been something where they decided Cartoon Network's like, hey, you know what? We want to actually get into publishing now, too. And will it be will the title just be Over the Garden Wall as a comic book, like the miniseries?
So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Are you writing that, or are you?
Yeah, I wrote it. It was hard. I've never done a comic book before, so getting the piecing right was really mind-boggling. But Jim Campbell, who worked on the show, also illustrated the comic.
Oh, so it's gonna. Yeah. It'll literally look like just another episode, almost. Just putting.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, fits in. And there's at the end of the comic, there's sheet music for one of the songs that is kind
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
So excited to see the show.
Yeah, this is like, well, do you? What do you? So it's like,
yes.
It sounds like a beautiful project.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Right after Halloween.
I'm excited for this one.
We've just warmed you up for the next table now, you see, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.